Hello, welcome to TechTalk. We are still at level 39, the technology accelerator based in the financial district of Canary Wharf here in London. I'm talking to Daumantas Dvilinskas, the CEO and co-founder of TransferGo. So TransferGo says that you can make international payments through local transfers. Yes. How does it work?
So the way we send money cross-border is by not sending money cross-border. So the interesting bit about our system is that by facilitating local in and local out payments, we're able to send money cross borders. So the way it works is that the customer comes in to TransferGo.com and makes a local transfer from their bank account to our bank account in the UK. And we then pay out the recipient anywhere in the world from a network of our bank accounts directly to their account locally. So we call it this method local in, local out. And since the transactions don't have to go through expensive settlement systems, it's frictionless and very, very efficient.
So it's a pretty simple and effective and inexpensive system to transfer money internationally, which is used both by individuals and businesses. Yes. How much has the business grown, your business grown, since you started?
So the business is 3 years old. Last year we had a 208% growth year on year. So we had a very good year, and we're looking to maintain this growth for next year. We are currently servicing more than 100,000 clients, economic migrants across Europe.
And across how many countries?
So we send money to around 40, 50 countries across the world. We're onboarding one country per month. In terms of customers, most of them are based out of the UK, Germany, and Scandinavia. And as these are the preferred migrant hubs where people go and send money back home.
I can imagine that one of the questions that probably is often being raised with you is about security.
Sure. So our system, since it doesn't deal with cash at all, is probably the most secure method to send money cross-border, because you have a bank on the sender side, bank on the recipient side. That's how people send and receive money, and we have us in the middle. So banks do the checks, we do the checks, and that's why this is probably the most secure method. You can never send money. We do KYC AML checks electronically. We go and check various sanctions. We do all and even more than required by the FCA to make sure that we're secure. Because at the early stage of growth, security is very important because it also filters out the best customers for it.
So international payments is an area that has become a bit of a challenging point for banks, especially because of regulation around capital, of course, but also knowing your customers. So are companies like TransferGo businesses that banks should fear, or that perhaps they should buy?
So our business could not exist without banks. And banks are our partners, not our enemies. Because we built a large bank partner network, more than 30 bank partner network and hundreds of accounts. So our business is built on banking infrastructure. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is that we actually bring people from cash to digital banking infrastructure. So we are actually competing more against Western Unions and MoneyGrams of this world than we're competing against banks.
So those are the guys that should be a little bit more scared.
Yes, because cash is leaving the stage, and that's 80–90% of Western Union's revenue. And what we see is that the majority of our customers switch from cash options, which are up to 10 times more expensive than what we do.
So that's the future of international payments. Yes. It's going to be cashless.
Absolutely. It's cashless, and we see this transition happening not only in the white-collar, high-educated people's segments, but also in blue-collar segments. All of these people are already online on Facebook. They all have smartphones. So they're already tech-savvy. They just are underserved, and they still needed to go to various cash bureaus to send their money, which doesn't make much sense. So now they choose easier, quicker, and more importantly, more convenient option.
So there's been a big number of companies similar to yours popping up across a number of markets, and I would imagine that you will say that this will continue in the future. What's your expectation for this system, for this market to grow?
So there are certain barriers to entry, which is licensing and building banking partnerships, and it's quite difficult to start. As a lot of problems are chicken and egg. You don't have a history, banks don't want to work with you, and if banks don't work with you, you can't really have a business. So what we've seen is that there were a few players that have emerged that have been quite successful in growing, but we really didn't see so many as we would expect. And a lot of companies have either been acquired or failed because they didn't manage security well. So we see that the market there's people out there, but the opportunity outweighs the competition by a mile, pretty much.
Very good. Well, best of luck for the future. Obviously, it's a great idea, and I wish well. Thank you, Daumantas.
Thank you very much.